In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Realitys Temple on Earth. Of course, I am the gatekeeper of this internet ministry, known here on YouTube, Daily Motion, Vimeo, MySpace, and make sure that you friend me on Facebook under the name saycheribnrad. I am the mighty Angelsnupnup7, your brother, and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. I would like to present my case to you from a personal experience to support and bring example to what I am saying. Of course, as many of you know, I was wrongly convicted of a crime and made mentally ill. And this stole not 2 years, not 3 years, not 7 years, but 10 years of my life for no reason. And I can easily show with evidence that I should not have never at least been in some mental facility where they made $600 a day off my body, being there, doing absolutely nothing. I'm going to say that again. They made $600 a day, not a week, not every 2 weeks, a day, locking me up for no reason, telling lies. A lie to benefit who? Not to benefit me, but to benefit them. So they can make money off my body. And then they use me for cheap labor. Oh, wow. Y'all just don't get it. Oh, well, how can you easily prove that they were not justified in doing these things to you? First of all, as far as any criminal charges is concerned, that was not even an issue. The issue was that they made me mentally ill because I was nice to everybody. I was nice to the so-called victim. I was nice to them. This guy, how can he be so nice to everybody when we're doing him dirty? Oh, wow. Keep this in mind. When somebody do you dirty, you're not supposed to be nice to them. Black folks, even Caucasian people are telling us you're not supposed to be nice to your oppressor, but we have been nice to them, trying to work with them for 400 years. And where has your niceness, your kindness gotten you? The same thing that happened to me. Incarceration, terrorism, lies being told on you. Let me show you something real quick. Now, all involved, the main people involved was white folks, Caucasian people. Then you had their flunkies who supported them. A black doctor, black judge, black employees. They don't mean nothing. The ones who started it, the ones who kicked it off, the ones who are experts, the ones who don't tell lies and deceive, were the Caucasian people in my case. They wrote, and it is documented, they wrote and told the lying judge and the lying prosecutor and my pitiful defense, they told the world a lie and my family, this man is insane. And then they suggested that I take the poison called psychiatric medication. So I decided to take their medicine so maybe they would leave me alone. Hold up. Not finished yet. Now, after I took the medicine, they wrote in their report, the man is getting better and better and better. Matter of fact, my mental illness was so under control and so well, they support me for release. I said it again. After I took their medicine, they supported me for release. But the problem is, I never took their medicine. From day one, I cuffed their poison they tried to give me because their mental illness was a lie. So since their mental illness is a lie, it's common sense tell you I can function without medicine. So here is the medicine, and I still got it. You see, that's some of the medicine. And here's some more. You see that? Here's some more. Where is it at? Come on, show me the medicine. There you go. 2 bagfuls. 2 bagfuls of medicine. Now, problem. If I never was taking the medication, what was making me well? I never was sick to begin with. It was all a lie. And that's what this video is about. The Caucasian people. And I want to also add that a court later on has determined that I have no mental illness and I don't need medication. But see, many Caucasian people think that we are just here just to make mockery of them, make false cases against them. Ain't nothing false about the case. The history of, I'm going to just say, I have not had any contact with no other Caucasian people, but I do know the history of Europeans around the earth, but I'm going to stay here in America. Because I do know in America, you are liars. You have a history of telling lies. You have a history of deceit. You break treaties, even in your court. Your courts are filled with different cases. Why is your court filled with different civil cases? Your courts are filled with different civil cases because people don't accept responsibility and they don't make proper choices. That's the reason why. So you have to take people to court because nobody wants to admit nothing. And then you have people that you live in a nation filled with liars and deceivers and tricksters. How many of the treaties made with Native American people have this country actually uplifted? That's not the word I'm looking for, but how many? They broke almost every last treaty they had with the Native American people, especially when they put them on reservations they thought was worthless, and then they found out that the land had some kind of worth. The Native American people said that you speak with forked tongue. And in your courts, it says, if you are caught in perjury, telling a lie under oath, and y'all do it all the time, you never trust a person once they've been caught telling a lie. You have told black people lies for 400 years, and you really expect somebody to sit around and listen to anything that you say. You are a liar and a deceiver. Not because I said so, your history says so. And what you done to me personally said so. Look how you are. You love lies and deceit. All these Caucasian people support George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman should be arrested. Makes no difference about the rest of the story. Makes no difference about what Trayvon was or what he was not. You always, people who lie and deceive always skip truth and these variables in this particular case. George Zimmerman should never have had a gun. George Zimmerman should not confront the suspect. And George Zimmerman have no respect for authority because authority told him, do not confront the suspect. These three things, regardless to anything else, don't mean nothing. This man has no respect. But see, since you are a liar, you're a deceiver, and you have a hatred for black folks, and that's in your history. You have mistreated black folks for over 400 years. You're a liar and deceiver. You don't like Native American people either. Any dark person. And now, all of a sudden, you an angel. You committed perjury under oath because you done it in the name of God. You did it in the name of God. And you want somebody to turn around and listen to what you have to say. Trust you. And this is not all Caucasian people, but this is a vast majority. That's why we are having these problems, because the majority support those who are doing evil. And you who support this, you wicked and you evil. And since you say that you believe in God, God, if you believe in God, is bringing all this down. So you on the wrong side. If you're not on the side of Trayvon Martin and seeking justice, then you're on the wrong side. And you ain't got a chance in hell with winning against truth. I beat the devil. They thought they had me. We got to know how to handle the devil. And when you learn how to handle the devil with real truth, you'll be the winner. You can't lose with the stuff you use. Thank you for listening. This is Brother Taalik, Ibn'rad. Jot down your comments. This was and is the Realities Temple on earth. All right. Y'all still here? Good, good, good. Okay. While I'm in a talking mood, I want to bring up this particular topic. Really, it's some nonsense. And the nonsense comes from those with weak opinions because they know they're wrong, those who support George Zimmerman, and it makes no difference whether he's innocent or guilty. The main problem here is that this man, at the minimum, should be arrested. And let the court system bring him before a jury, let the evidence speak, and that's all that's required. But these people hate black folks so much, they don't want an arrest. They don't want nothing. They just want somebody to be able to go out in the street and shoot black folks down like dogs without nothing. Then they'll smile in your face talking about we all American citizens. Oh, we all American citizens, but only the young black boys, young men are shot down in the street and nobody doesn't even get arrested. That's what you want. Don't call me your brother. Don't call me a fellow citizen. You are a demon as far as I'm concerned. They smile in your face and stab you in the back. And that's what's sickening to me. And I'm so happy for the internet. And the internet is good is because it allows the cowards. They can hide behind a picture, but they can express their real feelings. And so I hope that black America is watching and listening. Can't you see that these people are not your friends? They never was, and they can't be your friends. They don't love you, never have loved you. You are just a thorn in their side. You're just something, it's just like, I don't want to use, this is an example I would like to use, but I'm going to use it because that's the way they view us. It's like living in a house with rats and you can't get rid of the rats. So you just learn how to live with them. And that's what we are to these in this nation. We're like rats. They done tried poison, they've tried traps, and we just keep coming. They just can't get rid of us. So they have learned to live with us being here. And so since they are forced to deal with us, they let some rats have high positions. Woo! Some rats they allowed to get rich, but they still a rat. But this rat they make pretty. And they set the trap to try to kill the rats that they don't like. Since they have to live with rats. But see, they don't like things they can't control. You are controlled, but you're not controlled to the point where they like you. The rich rats, the cool and the sambos, at least they pretend to be submissive. Y'all outright rebellious. We can't have that. So let us start with the young black men, since the male is supposed to be the leader, supposed to be the protector, provider. Let us just start shooting them down in the street. He's supposed to be the strength. Let us just kill these young black men. And in hopes to make this family just crumble. Oh man. That's not what I wanted to really talk about. Actually, it is. Because they have a silly argument, opinion, always grasping for straws. these who support a murderer, George Zimmerman. So they come to us and dare have the nerve to tell us, oh, we love black on black crime. That's the most foolish and most sickening, retarded thing I have ever heard in my life. You better say that behind a picture, because you wouldn't tell me no nonsense like that in my face. Ain't nobody in their right mind, ain't nobody in the black community or nowhere support murder, regardless to the color of somebody's skin. So you basically are trying to tell me, oh, because he's black, she's black, you can stab me, you can beat me, you can do, oh, I love it because they black. You must be a real fool. Actually, you are, because you dumb enough to say something so stupid. Black people do not control the legal system. The judges is white. The lawyers are white. The law was created by Caucasian people. Black folks are lawyers, they are judges, they are senators and whatever, but they don't write no law. All the laws and how you practice the law. The black man goes to school to learn the white man's law. Nothing black folks wrote. So black people have nothing to do with the legal system. We don't control nothing. We make no laws. We don't do anything. And since really, as the Trayvon Martin case is verified, you don't care nothing about black life. Black life has no value. So you sit in your courts and you sit as a judge and prosecutors. They sit. They don't care. You don't care nothing about black folks killing each other. Never have, never will. Back in slavery, you made slaves fight each other physically. And you always kept the slaves fighting among one another to keep their mind off what you was doing and the evil that you was doing to them. And Negroes still fall for that trick to this day. Now, Caucasians, many of them, you know how to smile. You smile so good, and you talk a good game. Now, tell me, how many white folks in power, influence, or just Johnny-come-lately, how many white people ever even make a video that tell black people that we should support black businesses, that we should be independent from them, that we should learn ourselves, we should learn how to love ourselves, that we should unite with one another, and we should stop being white, because that's what we are. And see, since we are white in the mind, and the examples that black folks have had for over 400 years, we have had no teacher except white folks. And look at your society. Your movies are violent. Your history is violent. Everything about this country is violent. It's about lying, deceiving, fornication, and adultery. Sin everywhere you turn. You can't turn on the TV. Some white woman's booty is in your face. Or now you have black women shaking their booties in somebody's face. It's filth everywhere you turn. Lies, deceit, making mockery of somebody 24 hours a day. What do you expect? What do you expect? How many Caucasian people, since they know that you are nothing, that we are nothing but dark-skinned versions of them, how many white folks are coming to us and say, look, you know what happened to you in your history. Stop being white. Get the white mind out of your black brain. You are not Tom. You're not Dick, Harry, Sarah. That's Caucasian names. You don't belong to white people no more. If you consider yourself free, then free your mind. Become your African self. At least some close facsimile. They don't suggest that because they like us confused. They like us to have a murderous mentality because that's what they are. So we are liars. We are murderers. But we turn on ourselves because we are filled with self-hatred, self-destruction. This has been taught to us all through slavery. Well, you don't have to blame the white man. Just make proper choices. Accept responsibility. Then you should have told the ancestors of these people when they were bringing blacks from Africa, killing millions of them, and then terrorizing the rest on these shores. You should have told them. Make proper choices and accept responsibility. They have not accepted responsibility for what they've done to this day. You free somebody, but you did not teach them how to be independent. You did not teach them how to be African. You did not tell them where they come from. You lost, confused, trying to be like them. So you have people who are materialistic in the mind, trying to make money, trying to do things to be white, trying to be successful according to what white folks deem to be success. And what they deem to be success is material things. So everybody's out here fighting, killing, making mock of each other because I got more material things than the other person. And that's what it's all about. Material things. Diamonds, paper money, and other foolishness. And then black folks who do want to tell about crime, the police tell the community who the snitch is. So nobody can't really tell on nobody because the police is not going to protect you from nothing. There's a reason why nobody wants nobody supports no black on black crime. That's the most idiotic thing I ever heard in my life. Jot down your comment because I know it wouldn't even worth talking about. That's just silly nonsense. Thank you for listening. This is your Brother Taalik, Ibn'rad. This was and is. Oh man, these people are just so silly. The reality temple on earth. I come in peace. This is your brother, the mighty one, the most powerful voice on YouTube. Guaranteed. I am Angelsnupnup7. I was just thinking, how many of you are familiar with Westerns, the old Wild Wild West? When I was growing up, that was the end thing. Watching Western shows. You had Gunsmoke, Bonanza, even Little House on the Prairie. You know, I like Westerns. Clint Eastwood, the Clint Eastwood films. I mean, I just like Western, and I know a little Western history. And why I am bringing the Wild Wild West. Now, the Wild Wild West was a very violent place in America. As America expanded or moved from the east to the west, you had people making settlements in the west, but there really was no law. That's why they called it the Wild West, because as you went further west, you began to move past the jurisdiction or the reach of the law arm of the law. It was so violent in the Wild West that it was this fella called, I think, John Wesley Hardin. And this guy was just he was so mean that he shot a fella just for snoring. And there was no law, so you could just go around shooting and killing folks up. No big deal. Now, I'm going to say that again. There was no law in the Wild Wild West. So, people could do certain crimes and you could be a killer and you didn't have to worry about being hunted down by any type of law enforcement. For a long, long time this went on in the Wild Wild West. But you want to know something? Now remind you, this is the Wild Wild West. You had heartless, killers, robbers, murderers, rapists in the Wild Wild West. But you want to know something? Even among criminals in the Wild Wild West, there were certain things that was frowned upon. And two things, even in the Wild Wild West, that was frowned upon, that people just looked at you and they turned their nose up at you in disgust. You do not shoot an unarmed man, and you don't shoot somebody in the back. Now, here are criminals, here are people who are murderers, rapists, liars, thieves, but among them, if you shot down an unarmed man, or you shoot somebody in the back, oh man, people look at you. You are sickening and you trifling. Some of y'all are familiar with the movie Scarface. Don't you remember that scene in Scarface where they placed a bomb under this guy's car? And then Scarface saw that the man's children and wife was getting in the car with him. And one of the guys that was sent to kill this particular fella wanted to just blow the car up. But Scarface told him. Now this is a criminal. Y'all know Scarface killed many people. He was a dope kingpin, drug kingpin. But he said, look, I don't kill women and children. I'm not going to kill this man's wife and his children. But of course the other criminal did not care. But Scarface had some type of morality. Just like in the Wild Wild West. You don't shoot unarmed people and you don't shoot nobody in the back. So Scarface shot this guy in the head. And he said, look, you don't play with me. You don't play with me. I told you don't mess with me. Don't shoot. I don't kill a man's wife and his kids. Are you crazy? So I'm saying all this just to say, bringing these examples, just to say this little tidbit. Trayvon Martin would be more safe. And this is sad. This is 2012, and you're supposed to have all these laws that protect you. Your humanity is supposed to be respected. But Trayvon Martin, my little brother, he would be safer in the Wild Wild West among murderers and killers with no law than he was living in the suburbs in the United States of America in 2012 with all these laws and police and judges and all these folks that's supposed to be out to serve and protect the citizens. They failed to protect Trayvon Martin. And that's sad. When you can go, don't you, listen, I'll tell you something else. When I was locked up, and I will be truthful with you, don't you know, I feel safer locked up with rapists and murderers and so-called crazy people than I am out here with you. I never got death threats. Not verbally in my face anyway. I know some of those doctors or whatever, they wouldn't mind, if they could get away with it, they would not have minded murdering me. And some of the mental patients I was locked up with, they actually fear coming into the so-called free world. Because y'all crazy. Trayvon Martin is an example of how savage you are. This society is worse than the Wild Wild West. You have to really watch your back. You have no kind of morality. Even these criminals from the 1800s in the Wild Wild West, don't shoot a man, an unarmed man. At least give him a pair of nunchucks. Something, then you can shoot him. And if I turn my back on you, you don't shoot unarmed people. But Trayvon, walking down the street, being harassed by some loony because his intent was to be a troublemaker because he knew he was carrying a weapon. That's what gave him his courage. Otherwise, if he did not have a gun, he would not have messed with Trayvon at all. These are cowards. If I face you, I will face you with my bare hands. I will face you without a pair of nunchucks or anything. But see, when your intent is murder, and you know that you got people that will protect you, then I'll do it. But if he was in the Wild Wild West, somebody would have dealt with George Zimmerman. In the Wild Wild West. The whole town, everybody would be against them, because you don't shoot down an unarmed person. You don't shoot nobody in the back. In the Wild Wild West, the Wild Wild West, do. Y'all remember that rap? Cool Mo D, the Wild Wild. Oh, it's not funny, because we lost our little brother, because he lived in this jungle filled with these savage animals. But as long as black folks, as long as you live among these savages, as long as you live among them, this will continue to happen. And even after the passing of Trayvon Martin, you still hear more and more right here in the St. Louis area. Young men are being killed in the same type of manner. I was watching a video, and it was talking about the harvesting of organs. I mean, really, when somebody is killed or murdered, who is thinking about the person's heart or their lungs or kidneys? You don't have nothing like that on their mind. You're not going to check the body to see if any of the organs are missing. And because you live in a deceitful, lying society, you got people who are, their evil is beyond your comprehension. You can't believe these people could be that evil. Yes, they are. Because it's about making money for them. You live in a world of material freaks. Everything they talk about is due to materialism. They want more and more. They sicken the mind. And they protect their own. So they're going to protect this murderer, knowing they know that he's a killer, but they are like him. I want to kill me, a Negro, and get away with it like George Zimmerman. See, that's the bottom line. They want to do it too. Man, I wish I could kill me one of them, woo, like George Zimmerman. See, that's the bottom line. That's where the mindset is at. And since they control the law, they control everything. But see, you can control. The best thing we could do for Trayvon is to leave from amongst these savage beasts. As long as we stay among them, you're going to catch hell. And that's why you'll never see heaven. Jot down your comments. My time is out. Let's talk about it. In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Of course, I'm the host of this program, known here on YouTube, Vimeo, Daily Motion, and make sure that you friend me on Facebook. Just do a search for Angelsnupnup7 under the name The Realities Temple or Sheshore to know better. I am, and you should know better. I am the mighty Angelsnupnup7, your brother and hopefully your friend Taalik Ibn'rad. I would like to ask Caucasian people a question with all due respect, because I would like clarification. I would like well, basically I want you to clarify something for me. White folks always say, y'all blacks, you do this. Y'all blacks, you do that. The black people this and the black folks that. I would really like to know, what black people are you talking about? Who exactly are you talking about? Because the so-called African American, the so-called Negro, those of us who are the descendants of slaves in America, we are a divided people. There is no leader. The only leader that we have is the President of the United States. We are under the laws that only white people created. We are not under any law of no black person as an individual or organization or neighborhood or anything. We are a divided people. That's why we suffer. We suffer because we are extremely, severely divided, filled with self-hatred. Black people are different. Just to use this Trayvon Martin case, there are black people who are speaking their mind in behalf, trying to seek justice for this young man. Then you have black folks who are siding with George Zimmerman. You have black folks that are patriotic to this nation, willing to die for this nation. George Washington is the father of their country. Then you have black folks who are ashamed to be an American citizen. And because of the mistreatment, the injustices that we have suffered in this nation, we want to seek our past self. We want to know what our ancestors was about. You have some so-called African Americans who are doing everything they can to be white. They know they have no choice to be called black or African American, but when you see their face, skin bleaching, straighten their hair, war paint, bleach skin, and plastic surgery, they're doing everything they can to look Caucasian. We are a divided people filled with self-hatred. There is no leader. There is no laws in the African American community. Why do you think the African American black community suffer? There is no direction. Everybody is doing their own thing. This is different. When we talk about Caucasian people, when we say the white man this and the white man that. Now, for me, I cannot speak for everybody else, because I know, and it would not be just to say that all white people do this and all white people do that. But there is a great majority, either directly or indirectly, that follow behind their leadership. See, white people have leadership. Black people don't have leadership, except white people. We are under the laws and the control of Caucasian people in this country. We did not determine that the bird that represents the United States is the eagle. We had nothing to do with that. American is apple pie. Now, black folks might bake apple pies, but we had nothing to do with saying that the apple pie is American, or we had nothing to do with saying that the dog is your best friend. We had nothing to do with that. But white people, as a nation, they love dogs. They love apple pie. It's as American as apple pie. The dog is man's best friend. The eagle represents America. See, y'all, as a unit, we need to do something about Iran. See, y'all come together as a people, as a unit. There is no great division. Now, there are those who don't agree. But also at the same time, if you drop bombs on Iran, or if you decided, let us enslave some people, you jumped on the bandwagon. A very small minority will go to jail. They will die. They will leave this country not to be involved with evil. A small minority. Because you have leadership to follow. So when you talk about, well, the black folks do this and the black criminal, those are black criminals living under the control of white people. Have nothing to do with the black community. The black community is a facade. It's an illusion. There is no real black community. There is no leadership. You just put in a particular spot. That's all. Everybody doing their own thing. When you go into white communities, when you go into Asian communities, all these places, they have leadership. There are certain things that Asians can and cannot do, certain things whites can and cannot do. You have some type of control. There's leadership in those communities. There's programs. There's activity to build the community so that it can thrive. You don't see that in the black community because there is no leadership. Everybody doing their own thing because they are confused. They are trying to do whatever they can to be successful so they can lead their community, so they can help the rich white community stay rich, or the rich Asian community stay rich, or wherever, anywhere except their own. You want to call criminals the black community. You want to call eggheads the black community. Who are you talking about? You want to try to find the worst in this divided people. That's the black community. If these people are satisfied with welfare, that's their business. Has nothing to do with no black community or black folks. Everybody doing their own thing. There is no leadership. Because if there was leadership, all those things that you talk about would not exist. Because we would be supporting one another. We wouldn't want none of your welfare. We would keep our people out of your jails, out of your prisons. In fact, if black leadership had any sense, they'll be doing everything they can to separate away from you, because you are no good, have never been no good for us. So when you talk about these y'all black folks do this and your black folks do that, that certain group do this, that certain group do that. Because some of these so-called blacks, they don't mind getting beat by you, kicked in the butt by you, being murdered by you, trying to love you. Then you have those that ain't going for it. And that's really what you're upset about. You don't mind the ones that continue to tolerate your evil, that accept your lies. We see your lies. You speak with forked tongue. You are a liar and a deceiver. So what you mean, and then most of these black folks that you really hate, they are the ones that are striving to get our people to become united. We are trying to get our people to leave welfare and to stop going to your jails. But see, you really don't want that. You're a hypocrite and you fake. You really don't want that. Because leadership in the past, the few leaders that we have, you make mockery of them and you will kill them. Just like Angelsnupnup7. I can't talk on YouTube. Flag his videos. Terminate, ban and suspend, all this nonsense. Because you really like black folks to be on welfare. You like for us to be criminals going back and forth in your jails. That's what you really want. But you know, and you fear my voice, and you fear the voice of other brothers and sisters that talk like me, because we can come together and straighten out our problems. Then once we begin to straighten up our problems, you don't have nothing to say. You really like us to be messed up because you are messed up. This whole nation is messed up. Drug addicts, dope fiends, gender confused, $15 trillion in debt, filled with all kinds of diseases. You're always talking about somebody. You have not taken a look at yourself. There's a lot of homeless white people on the street. These Caucasians filled with fantasy world. There's a lot of white people in this country that's suffering. You don't even care nothing about your own because you comfortable. These going to be the same white people that's going to put their foot up your butt. And they getting ready. They not like black folks. When they come after you, they going to come hard. Oh, man. Y'all done your current. My time is out. What black people are you talking about? Thank you for listening. Peace forever and always.